We're just trying to get home.
We don't get to walk off into the sunset.
I have a plan.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Ben.
Great to see you, and congratulations on the movie. Ever since seeing Ambulance, I've had Sailing by Christopher Cross stuck in my head.
Here it is. Sailing takes me away to where I always wanted to be.
You're welcome, Ben.
I've got so much to talk to you about, but firstly, I need to know, like, how long did you spend working on the harmonies for that song?
Oof. I mean, the truth is, Yahya and I get together about 6 months before we started shooting, and being method actors in that way, we knew that the song and that moment was really the turning point of the movie.
It's always important to really invest the real time and resources to make those moments pay off, and hopefully this one did. That was one of the most important things for us to do. The song Sailing, and soon they will be free. That was really the thought. That was really their guiding North Star, throughout the film.
We spent a lot of time trying to understand what the idea of sailing away really meant. Do you know what it really meant? We wrote essays, and it was a beautiful, process of self-discovery. And I'm glad we started 6 months before we started shooting into kind of the dramaturgy of the lyrics of Sailing Away.
I have zero regrets starting the interview with that
You
question.
should really have regrets.
What's going on in there? These guys are nut jobs.
The film is such a fun ride. It's a real throwback to those high concept blockbusters from the 90s. And Michael Bay, of course, made plenty of those movies. What is he like to work with, and how is he different from other directors that you've worked with in the past?
I mean, I for one wanted to be in a Michael Bay movie and have for a long time. I mean, when I was a teenager, I loved The Rock. I remember it having just being so much fun and being super into it. And I've heard stories over the years of Michael Bay and what it's like to be on his sets, and the bullhorn and the, sort of bombastic yelling and all this stuff. He's so full of energy, and that energy that Michael has is in this movie. All of our energy, it was generated directly by Michael,
And in the film, you play brothers, and that bond is really the cornerstone of the film. We're introduced to your character first, Yahya, so I'll start with you. How would you describe Will Sharp and the circumstances that he finds himself in?
You meet a character with a really big heart, but who is also desperate, and who is also in love with his wife and his family and the life that he created. And out of desperation, he returns to his brother, asking for a very big favor, and that's where all of the rest of the compromise begins to take us down the road.
That's my brother, Will.
I could use some help.
My wife needs this surgery.
This is real life.
How's that right? You put your life down on the line for this country? You leave your family, your home? How much do you need?
231.
How about more?
And then your character, Jake, Danny, I guess he's kind of the villain, but it's a bit more complicated than that, right? That's
really why I liked the character, was that he was doing all these things, and he was bombastic, and he seemed sort of he was very sort of sketchy in his choices. But in the end, he really loved his brother and really loves his brother. And that's at the heart of it for him. But in the end, this movie's about siblings and how much they would do for each other. And in this case, these two siblings go to the ends of the earth.
And then you've got this dynamic between these two brothers who have their own issues, and the paramedic who they've taken hostage, played by Eiza Gonzalez. Tell us about working with her, because that dynamic is so important to this film as well.
Eiza is a sweetheart and lovely and kind, and as a person, just really, look, the whole cast of this movie, in my experience, the actors that I worked with Yahya, with Eiza, with everyone, they're such kind people. In terms of Cam, the character that Eiza plays, she's really the heart of the movie, and this is really a love story, a love letter to EMTs, first responders, paramedics. Her commitment to the truth in their behavior, the the burden that she felt, I think, and was there because of everything that we were all talking about, the incredible work, and still hopefully are talking about the incredible work of first responders. She felt that pressure, and I think she completely lived up to it.
And it's, you know, it's a Michael Bay movie, so there's, you know, just a few little action sequences along the way. What was the hardest day of shooting for you both?
Man,
The last day, because I had to say goodbye to Yahya.
I was just going to say that there wasn't many hard days working on this movie. You know, we were very fortunate to be doing this film. We were very, and we were aware of that too. You know, we did this in what was it, the fall of, the spring of 2021. We created a little bubble, a little family, and we were very, you know, generous with each other, but made this with a lot of, I think, gratitude, you know, and, you know, with a lot of heart, and also very, very excited, and, you know, about the idea, the possibility of putting this movie out into the world once it was safe to get back into a theater. And so that's what I like to think of, you know, of what it was like making this movie, knowing that we were making a huge theatrical experience that people could go into the movies to see, to enjoy, to get their popcorn, you know, the drinks, and to you know, sort of sit back, relax, take all the pressures off, and to have that big community experience. So that's what I would say.
I look at some of the stuff that you guys have done, like, you know, Mysterio in a Marvel movie, Morpheus in the Matrix, like these, you know, mega franchises, CGI-driven movies, which, you know, it seems that over the last few years, that's the way the industry has kind of trended towards at that sort of blockbuster end. Do you think there's still space for these, you know, sort of one-off high-concept blockbusters that were much more common in the 90s and the 1980s? Like, for me, it was so refreshing to see Ambulance, because it's like a, you know, something that we like, felt like a reuniting with an old friend that you haven't seen for a while.
I hope that there's space for new ideas. In a lot of ways, this is a new idea, and I think that's really important. It is nostalgic in terms of the space and the practicality of shooting, and, you know, the way in which it was made is very Michael Bay. But I think I really hope that we have space for being curious about new stuff, you know? And that's what that's, to me, I am. And I hope audiences are too.
Yeah, guys, our time is up. Thank you so much. You'll have to imagine Sailing by Christopher Cross playing in the background as we sign off. It's been
you had to bring it up again, didn't you? You couldn't let it down. Yeah.
Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
All right.